A Brief History of Kev. And it's all because of a Facebook Memories notification that I got today, because I found out today that 8 years ago to this very day, I quit my job without any plan what I was going to go and do after that. Let me give you the breakdown. Basically, my life up to this point has been broken down into chunks of 7 years. So not only was that message from 8 years ago significant because it was part of one of those, it means I'm overdue a 7-year cycle, but it also got me thinking about what might be the next step for me, and it does involve this vlog. So this is roughly how my life has run so far. I'm discounting the bits up until age 11 because anyone under the age of 11, no. It's irrelevant, it doesn't matter. The cycles don't start. The cycles start when you start secondary school. They're the formative years of your life. So we're going to have a look at my bunch of 7-year cycles from there. So we started off 1993 to 2000. Yes, I am that old. That's when I was at secondary school and sixth form, getting my GCSEs and my A-levels. Yes, I did get good results. I'm an intelligent man. It took me a little while to go out and get a full-time job after that, probably 6 to 9 months, in which time I accrued a wife and a child. Probably, if you are an 18-year-old watching this wondering what path your life should take, switch the order around a little bit, maybe move that bit a little bit later, but that's how I did it. And because of that, I felt the need to become a grown-up, to become a dad, to become a husband, aged 19, much younger than is recommended. So I spent the next 7 years of my life, 2001 to 2008, being a boring grown-up. I worked in banking. I was a qualified financial advisor. I worked for a bank. I worked for estate agents from time to time. I was a dad. I was a husband. To summarise, for 7 years, I got out of bed, did exactly the same thing every single day, got home, went to bed, repeat the next day. You could have interchanged any one of those days over the course of that 7 years and you wouldn't have noticed much difference between all of them. And I realised that for a lot of people that might be how your life is, or how lots of people you know how their life is. There might be people who are perfectly happy doing that. I can probably understand there are people perfectly happy doing that if they didn't go straight from school to that. I think you'll struggle to find anybody who is happy doing the dad, the parent, the responsible adult thing, same thing every day without any kind of variation or any light at the end of the tunnel. I don't think there's anybody who's happy doing that who went straight into it from there. Because what was missing is what came next, which I think is the 7-year period that has just come to an end for me. So from 2009, so the 13th of January 2009, is the day I quit my job. I didn't know what I was going to do next. I just knew I didn't want to do that anymore. So I quit my job on the 13th of January 2009. And from then, all the way through pretty much until, if not now, then maybe realistically probably 6 to 9 months ago, I was just figuring stuff out, trying to work out what I wanted to do with my life. The amount of things I've done in that 7 years is ridiculous. I've done this in the wrong order. This is what most people do here when they're figuring out what they want to do with their life. I had 7 years of life, then stopped it and went to try and figure out if what I was doing was right. So in that 7-year period, I had a little spell where I was unemployed. I spent that time playing an awful lot of Football Manager and keeping a big long thread updated about it on the Sports Interactive forums, which I duly got banned from because I was accused of cheating, which meant I didn't touch the Football Manager community at all for 6-7 years after that because I was burned. In that time, I also tried my hand at internet marketing because I didn't have a job, I didn't have any money. The internet looks like a good place to make some money. I tried to sell some ebooks. I tried to sell information products. I failed miserably at it all, but I gave it a go. It was my first taste of trying to do any kind of business for my own, and I enjoyed that element of it. I was rubbish at it, but I enjoyed the fact that I was making my own decisions for me. September 2009, I started university. I went to do computing at university. It took me 3 years. I ended up with a first-class honours degree, top mark in the year. It all went good. Kev's good at exams. While I was there, money was still tight. I spent probably 6 to 9 months of my time at university over the course of one of the summers paying my bills as a really loosely termed professional poker player online, to the point where I actually did my dissertation about making poker software to train you to become a winner, and tracked my progress up the world rankings and stuff off the back of this software that I'd made for myself to teach myself how to play poker. It was good fun. It completely took over my life. It was taking 10 to 12 hours a day to practice, to read about poker, watch poker videos, do poker coaching sessions, play the game for maybe 3 or 4 hours a day, then go back and review every hand I played after that. It was so time consuming, and the financial returns weren't massive. Remember, I was a student, so when I say I was paying my bills with it, there weren't a massive number of bills. I maybe made £3,000 or £4,000 in 6 to 9 months, which sounds like a lot until you realise I was spending 10 or 12 hours a day, 7 days a week doing it. It's not enough for a 29-year-old man to live on, which is what I was at the time. So we've knocked that on the head. I've not really played a hand of poker since. What else have I done? I did my teacher training. I became a teacher. I started a podcast. That podcast failed. I started another podcast. That one's still going. We've done 4 years in a row. We've done live events off the back of the podcast, where we do a live comedy show, if you like, and meetup, and lots of other fun stuff around about that. That's very cool. Should be another event this year that you can come along to. I've written 7 books. Some of them fiction, some of them sort of memoir stuff linked to the podcast. The only one that anyone buys is one that's linked to do with teaching. It's a revision guide. It does all right. I'm writing the sequel for it at the moment, but I've been saying that for about the last year, and I actually just need to get on and write it. Because of all the harebrained schemes I've tried over the years, that's the only one that really makes me any kind of money. And of course, I tried YouTube. I tried YouTube back in 2010, didn't know what I was doing. I tried it on and off while I was writing, but really when I did it properly was when I started my Football Manager channel about 15 months ago now. It's been a runaway success. We're closing in on 10,000 subscribers at this point, which is awesome. Thank you very much. I assume most of you have come over from there. It is massively appreciated, but it has got me thinking, I wonder if I could do this for a living. Hence the fact that we're starting the vlog, because I want to get what I wanted. The idea behind the vlog, anyone who's watched my How to Become a Football Manager YouTube series will know my theory that in order to get good at being a football manager or gaming YouTuber, don't care who's watching, don't worry about any of the analytics, don't worry about anything, just practice, do at least 100 videos, do it every day, just practice, figure out how to do it by just doing it. You'll get a bit of feedback from the crazies who were watching it early on. Thank you, it's much appreciated. But yeah, just churn out content and figure out how to make it good. That's what I'm doing with the vlog. We're on day 15 of it now. I've still got a long way to go before I start planning growth or anything like that for this channel. We're very much in there, churning out episodes, figure out what's good, figure out what's bad, work out what works, work out what's a good video and a bad video in this genre, and eventually, hopefully, it will get good and we can start growing this channel up as well. And I call this stage the figuring out what I want to do stage of my life, and I think I've come to an end of that now, because normally I run out of steam on one of these projects after a little while. Podcasting, I put so much time and money into that early on. I still enjoy doing it, but I don't really think about it outside of the couple of hours a week I spend actually recording and editing the podcast now. And I've accepted many years ago, it's never going to be something I can do professionally. There is no money in it, certainly not at the level I'm at. Writing, as much as I can see there's potential to earn money doing it, I just don't have that spark to want to do it every day. It's quite a grind for me. I can't see myself getting out of bed every morning and having to write a book. I don't think that's for me. I can see it being something I may be doing tandem with other stuff in the future, but it can't be the daily thing every single day. Teaching, I love being a teacher. Of all the jobs I could have where I've got a boss and I have to be at a place every day, I can't think of one I'd rather have than being a teacher. I really enjoy the lessons, the interaction with people. I really don't enjoy the marking, the admin, the general bureaucracy of it all. I don't enjoy having to be at a certain place at a certain time, reporting to particular people. That's nothing against the people I'm reporting to if you're watching this. It's more a case of I just don't like the idea of having a boss, believe it or not. Again, lots of people probably feel the same way and don't necessarily ever try and do anything about it. I'm 34 years old. I turned 35 this year. I don't see myself still being a teacher in 10 years' time. I just don't think I can do 10 years of daily grind. I mean, it's falling back into this trap again. It's doing the same thing day in, day out. It is not for me. I get itchy feet. I feel the need to move on. So I think I've come to an end of this stage. I think I've figured out what it is that I want now. And what I want is to be a YouTuber. So the next 7-year period of my life has begun today, effectively. I know it's 8 years since I jacked in my old job, and I'm certainly not jacking in teaching anytime soon, so let's not panic about that, Dad, if you're watching, or Anna, or anyone else who's now panicking that I'm about to do it all again. I'm not. I am not going to make silly, rash decisions this time. What I am going to do, though, is throw everything I've got this year into trying to make a success of this. So I want to figure out how to really optimize my workflow so that I can put out great quality content across multiple channels every single day. And I want to figure out how to monetize it properly. I want to get to the point where I'm doing a video maybe a year down the line, maybe 18 months down the line, where the conversation that we're having is a little bit different. And I'm saying, right, I'm now at the point where I'm earning as much, if not more, from YouTube and activities around YouTube as I am from my day job. Shall I go part-time at work? Shall I give up completely and focus on YouTube? Do I actually really enjoy that and want to keep doing that and do YouTube on the side? I want to get to the point before too long where I have the choices to wake up in the morning and decide what I want to do. Get to the summer every year and decide what I want to do from that September onwards. I want to live in a world of choices. I don't at the moment. At the moment, because of bills and responsibilities and being a real life grown-up, I've got myself trapped into that rat race again that I managed to escape once before and then gradually got sucked back into it. And I don't like being sucked in, trapped in, part of that. I want to do things my way. You know, if you have been following what I've been up to for long enough, you'll know that I'm always up to something. I don't have much in the way of downtime. I always like to be doing something. I'm always dreaming. I'm always plotting. I'm always, and I can see that it could come across to some people as that Kev always looking for a way to grab a bit of cash. It's not that ish. I don't just want to accumulate a big pile of cash. As nice as that would be, that's not the goal. What I want to do is get myself in a situation where I have the choice to go to work if I want to not go to work if that's what I decide I want. I have the choice to write a book if I decide it's what I want to do this month. I have the choice to decide to work on a particular project for a few months to see if it works out, or to try something else, or maybe invest in something over here and just basically live the life I've been trying to carve out for myself ever since I left school. With, one of the first things I did when I finished my A-levels back in the summer of 2000 is I was leafing through the back of NME and saw an advert to buy a big box of CDs and a guide to how to sell them in newsagents and petrol stations and charity shops and stuff. Probably not charity shops. And I bought it. I spent my £250 worth of birthday money on a whole load of old CDs, went round car boot sales buying old records and tried to start a music selling business. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I just want to be able to see an idea and run with it and see what happens. And I see YouTube, this channel, the other channel, possibly another one that is bubbling away at the back of my mind. I see it as a means to be able to do that, and part of reinventing every aspect of my life and chronicling it with you lot on this vlog. So I emphasize again, once more for good luck, this is not a weight loss vlog. This is a vlog of Kev starting phase 4, Kev version 4.0. We've done school, we've done the boring years, we've done figuring out what I want to do. This vlog should be, if all goes to plan, you coming along with me as I start doing what I spent 7 years figuring out is what I wanted.